I recently came across an excellent type of report that you can run in Google Ads that's going to help you be a much better e-commerce advertiser when it comes to shopping ads and Performance Max. The report type is called Merchant Excellence, and although it's not a report type that is available to everyone, this PDF that I have for you today describes the report, and there's so much we can learn about the report and about improving our shopping ads campaigns just by looking at this PDF. And I want to run through the PDF with you today to give you the key lessons you can learn from this PDF, from this Merchant Excellence report, even if you can't access the report, and I'll show you how to access the report if you qualify for it in just a bit. But even if you can't access the report, you should be able to take some learnings from this and understand exactly what to do next to boost your return on ad spend in your Performance Max or shopping ads campaign. Okay, so I've got the PDF in front of me. This is the PDF that Google put together to describe exactly what the Merchant Excellence report is and why it's valuable and what is important to make sure you have a high-performing shopping ads campaign. By the way, I'm going to put links for all this stuff in the description below the video, but they have a link here. There's a Google Help file, and actually, this report is actually only available to people who use comparison shopping services. So if you're advertising in the EU, if you're plugged into a CSS, and if you're spending over a certain amount, then you can access this report. For everyone else though, we're going to run through the PDF together because we can learn most of what we need to learn just through looking at the PDF. But if you come to this page here, and if you are running a CSS approach to your Google Shopping ads in the EU, you've actually got two cool free things you can get. So free audits and Merchant Excellence report. So pretty much everyone can get a free audit of their data feed done by Google. So eligibility for the free audit is anyone running CSS, or all CSS runners or merchants can request this service, and you only need to be spending $500 per month on shopping. That's a pretty low requirement. A lot of people meet that requirement. So I haven't checked out the feed audit. Today we're going to talk about the Merchant Excellence report. And the Merchant Excellence report, unfortunately, is a bit harder to get. You have to be running CSS in the EU, and you have to be spending $100K monthly on shopping. So I'm guessing a lot of people watching this video won't qualify for that. But don't worry if you don't qualify, because as I say, there's so much we can learn just by looking at this document here, where Google is telling us what is important about your data feed. And what's important about your data feed is ultimately going to be what's important about your shopping ads campaign and your Performance Max campaign, because those campaign types are leveraging your data feed. Okay, so these are the table of contents. I am going to provide you a link to this report in the description below, so I don't want to go through every page in detail. What I want to do is just kind of scroll here and tell you what I think is important to know and what you should focus on. Okay, some introductory stuff. Quality of data injected into Google Solutions is critical, and when they say the quality of data injected, they're talking about your data feed, really. This I find really interesting. Merchant Center will continue to power more ad formats over time, as it has happened over the past few years. So what does that mean? That means that, well, look at this timeline. In 2014, your data feed could power shopping campaigns and display campaigns, and pretty much those display campaigns were just retargeting. That was in 2014. Now in 2023, your data feed and your Google Merchant Center account can power all these ad formats here, and as stated by Google, this is only going to get more over time. So having a good quality data feed is already really important for your e-commerce Google Ads account today, and it's only going to get more important over time. So take note of that. Okay, your shopping ad auctions, it's like three main factors. The offer quality, so that really just means your product. How good is your product? How good is your pricing? And that is indicated by your product data. So this factor here, your offer quality, that's all pretty much determined by your data feed. And then you've got your bid level. That's going to be determined in Google Ads by the smart bidding algorithm or by whatever bid strategy you've chosen. Relevance, always important with Google Ads. Offer quality is super important. So yeah, like it goes without saying, the quality of your product, the quality of everything about your product, what you're offering to the consumer, super important. Yeah, duh. This is how the Merchant Center, the Merchant Excellence Report looks if you qualify for it. So it looks pretty snazzy. I haven't seen one of these out in the wild yet, but they actually take all these different items and then rank them versus benchmark, status, yes or no, priority level. So it's a great report. I'm hoping to get my hands on one of these reports, and I'm going to run through my client list and see which of my clients is actually spending more than 100k monthly in the EU on a CSS. Hopefully I can get a follow-up video out to you showing you how the report looks. But for now, let's just learn from the PDF. Okay, so this is just showing you more stuff about how the report itself looks. Okay, yeah, we get it. The report is cool. Yeah, I get it. We don't have the report right now, but let's just learn from this PDF. Yeah, okay, so I get that. Like, this is just sort of summarizing, like, things you can learn from the report. But down here, we're actually... Okay, now we start getting into the meat and potatoes. Look, this is a slide from Google telling you exactly what is important in your data feed. And we have things that actually I talk about all the time. If you follow me and know me, you'll know that these are things that I often talk about. So your GTIN, that's a field in your data feed. According to Google, some businesses have seen up to a 3x click uplift after fixing missing GTIN. So what does this mean? This means go into your Merchant Center for your shopping ads campaign, for your Performance Max campaign. It means check your disapprovals, check the diagnostics of your feed. You should be doing that weekly, in my opinion. And sometimes you're going to see a GTIN error. If you see that GTIN error, fix it. And if you don't believe me that this is important, well, here's Google also telling you that this is important. Even more important, though, than GTINs, in my estimation, is this one, data disapprovals. I would have put disapprovals at the top, really. I think that's the most... Well, I'd have put either disapprovals or titles at the top. I wouldn't have done the list in this order if I was prioritizing based on most important. I would have said number one on the list is either disapprovals or titles, maybe the joint top. And then I would have said GTIN, then I would have said data enrichment. But disapprovals, whatever prioritization you give it, it's important, right? Like, you can get your products disapproved for just seemingly really random reasons. And sometimes a product that is approved now might just suddenly get disapproved next week because, I don't know, Google's automated bot just doesn't like you for some reason. They have automated bots that are running these kind of approval processes, and you never know, like, some little change on your landing page or site might suddenly upset the bot. So don't, even if you've got 100% product approval rate right now in your shopping feed, don't assume it's always going to stay that way. Check your diagnostics in Google Merchant Center once per week, and then you're going to spot if there's any issues with GTINs and any issues with disapprovals. Both of these things are important. I think disapprovals is more important, so focus on those, and if you see anything get disapproved in your feed, fix it. Google Merchant Center will kindly tell you exactly how to fix the disapproval. You just have to click on the little question mark bubble in Google Merchant Center, and it will tell you how to fix the thing. So fix it. Titles are super important. I've been saying this for years. Like Google says, optimized titles can drive a 1% increase in clicks per offer. Actually, the testing that I've done and seen others do indicates that the increase here is a lot larger. Actually, based on my data and what I've seen from spending millions of dollars on Google ads, I actually kind of see these two things the other way around based on what I've seen. Like, I would say, actually, from what I've seen, titles can increase click volume by 15%, whereas data enrichment, I put that more in the 1% boundary. Based on the data I have, it's interesting that Google is kind of saying something else here. I'm not seeing the same, like, based on the accounts that we run. We could argue over, like, what the actual uplift is. Either way, do both of these things, right? Problem solved. Personally, I would say titles is the most important part. That's the part of your product feed that Google pays the most attention to. So get all your good high volume keywords in your title. And really what they mean here when they say data enrichment is they mean all the other items of your feed, right? So there's tons of other variables in your feed. There's tons of other bits of the feed to fill out. Not only do you have your title, you've got like your images, your description, your product category, your product type. So in this chart here, what you can basically think of data enrichment is it's like optimize your titles here, and then data enrichment means optimize the rest of your feed also, right? Yeah, usage of annotations. So this means like all the other little things that you can add onto your shopping ads when you use the correct functions in Google Merchant Centers. So product ratings, yeah, just absolutely do product ratings. To enable product ratings, you need to have a review aggregator. You can use like a premium third-party platform like Yotpo, for example, or if you want to do it cheaper, you can use Google Customer Reviews, which is free, just a bit more of a setup. It's a bit technical, the setup. Either way, you need to be collecting reviews for your products. You need the review feed to be plugged into Google Merchant Center. That will enable, when done correctly, that will enable product ratings, these stars that show up on your product. Super important, raises your CTR. Merchant promotions, any price promotions or offers you have on your site, you can go into Google Merchant Center, you can set up that promotion in Google Merchant Center so that it does this. It shows you the promotion on your shopping ads. If you're running promotions, this is just a no-brainer. You need to do that in Google Merchant Center to promote your promotion. Fast and free shipping, yeah, definitely gives you a conversion rate uplift and a CTR uplift. And if you've got a good shipping offer, make sure you've configured that in Google Merchant Center because it helps. Sale price, drop price. Once again, this is just like common sense stuff. If you're dropping the price, if you have good shipping, if you have promotions on, put that information in Google Merchant Center because you will see CTR and CVR uplift. And then once again, returns, like if you've got a good return policy, you can make sure by the settings in Google Merchant Center that is displayed on your shopping ads. So do that. Okay, case study, skip through that. Case study, skip through that. I just want to focus on what the learnings are for you and what's important. Let's just translate this for you into English, right? Maximize total offers. What that means is don't have any products disapproved, right? It's what it's saying here is an offer is basically a product. So like if you've got 100 products in your feed, make sure that's 100 approved products. If 10 of the products are disapproved, then you're not maximizing your total offers. So yeah, increase your approval rate. That's the same kind of thing. Actually, these two are kind of related. Actually, maximize total offers is more about having as many products as possible. Like if you have the product, make sure it's in your feed. If you have 100 products, have 100 items in your feed, one for each product. And then approval rate, yeah, that's making sure you have no disapprovals. Increase targeted offers. So yeah, if you've got products in your feed, actually advertise them in Google Ads. Get more customers that way. Yeah, makes sense. Increase impressions, data quality. So this is basically saying you get more impressions when you really enrich your data feed. Okay, more English language. Your product feed, make sure it's full of keywords, make sure it's high quality. Don't just auto create the product feed and leave it at that. Actually go through all the items in your product feed and think about, is this a good title? Is this a good description? Is this a good product type? And boost CTR. So attributes help differentiate. Yeah, so have a good image, use promotions, get your reviews showing up, all that lovely stuff. So these are some things that are important that you can do. I don't really want to focus on any of those. Just want to call out for you here some of the things that I think are most important. Yeah, so their merchant excellence report, one of the things it reports on is how many items you have disapproved, how many items have a generic image, like items with price and availability, so make sure you fill out those fields, invalid GTINs. So these things here just tell you what's important in your product feed and give you an idea of things that you need to pay attention to and optimize. Yeah, make sure your stuff gets approved. Don't let disapproved stuff sit in your feed. This one here is important as well. I'd like to call this one out. Like these ones here, custom label, item ID, item group ID, that's more for organization. It doesn't really affect the performance of your campaign, but this one here really does. So product type, and this would have fallen under data enrichment. Product type is another field in your feed, and most people do a bad job of this. Don't do that. Do a good job of your product type. So look for the product type field in your feed and make sure that you've filled it out to 4 levels of depth. You get 4 levels of depth in your product type feed. Most people only use 1, and then they often just make it exactly the same as their Google product category. Waste of space. Use all 4 levels of your product type and put good keywords in each level, right? Then you'll be doing much better. Okay, so there's some stuff you can do to increase impressions, some stuff you can do to boost click-through rates. What can you do to improve your score? Improving your score, your merchant excellence score, will mostly correlate with getting better performance in Google Ads. Okay, there's a glossary tab. They're explaining here how the report looks. It's a shame this isn't available to everyone. Why Google? Why isn't this just available to everyone? Why is it only limited to CSS people spending over 100K? Okay, I get the 100K thing. Maybe they use manual reps, dedicated reps to manually put this together, so they only want to focus on higher spend advertisers. But why is it only for CSS advertisers? Why isn't this just for all shopping advertisers? At the end of the day, if we all have better data feeds, Google makes more money, so why don't they just provide this to everyone spending over a certain amount of money? I don't know, Google. So there you have it, the Merchant Excellence Report, and what we can learn from what's in that report to make us better and more profitable e-commerce advertisers when it comes to shopping ads and Performance Max. By the way, if you really want to master and dominate Performance Max campaigns for your e-commerce store, you're going to want to check out this video here, which is my top 10 tips for Performance Max optimizations that you can run today to get more profit and higher return on ad spend for your campaigns. See you on the next one.